And what do you think of your old colleague and friend Bob Dole, who was telling me this a couple of days ago, that, look, I think Ted Cruz is far more dangerous to our party. He's far more divisive. Donald Trump could work with him.
All I can say is it's like being shot or poisoned. You're still dead.
All right, well, Lindsey Graham has settled on Ted Cruz. He is going to support Ted Cruz, and the math still favors that Ted Cruz does mathematically have a shot at this. I want to review this delegate count here because I think it's important now. All I am saying on this issue, folks, I know it gets heated back and forth here. 1237 is the number you need. Now, if there's an effort to change that number and deny Donald Trump if he's getting closer to that number and say they make it 1247, not fair, not right, we'll call him on it. But it is 1237. The size of your lead doesn't matter. It's whether you have that number and then some. You have that, you're on your way. Look at it this way. It's like your team down, 10 runs going to the ninth inning. Do you stop the game? No. If you make a 90-yard punt return and you're inches away from the end zone, do you just give the touchdown? No. So to be consistent on that, what will draw the distinction here is that party officials, one way or the other, try to change the rules ahead of the fact and say it's not 1237, or all of a sudden Donald Trump's delegates are worth half what we thought they were. That kind of chicanery, that we will call people on. Let's be fair. Let's be clear, not only to Donald Trump, but to all the other candidates still technically in this race. Yes, even John Kasich, who mathematically doesn't have a shot unless all of a sudden it is a contested convention. But no one has won this thing. Let's remember that. Texas Congressman Louie Gohmert is a big backer of Ted Cruz. He would probably subscribe to the belief that no one has won. But what if we get to a situation like that, Congressman, where all of a sudden, despite your best hopes, your guy is nowhere near Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is technically not near 1237. Then what?
Well, gosh, Neil, I love the way you think. I loved your clarity when I first really appreciated who you were going back to the time of the Wall Street bailout. You never lost your head, and you hadn't lost your head here. The number's 1237. And the reason that we have rules, some, of course, are stupid, like here in Washington, but the reason we have a rule that you have to have one more than 50% is because we want you to have a shot at winning in the general election. And that means that if you are really that polarized, that 60% of America says we don't want you, and that even 60% of your own party is very adamant and said under no circumstances do we want you to be our nominee, then we shouldn't be giving it away to a plurality. But I think some of the people, what they're saying is, if the establishment comes in and says, we don't like the two anti-establishment candidates, Trump and Cruz, so we're going to give it, well, I could say, we'll give it, say, to the Speaker, Paul Ryan. Now, I say that because, hypothetically, he can't ever be president in the next couple of years because Boehner endorsed him, and that was the kiss of death. So that, really mathematically removes him from any chance.
But, Congressman, I think he sees that side.
But you've got to get to 1237.
1237.
You've got to get there.
And by the way,
if you can get 1237, you don't need to be the nominee.
Well, it's a moot point. I mean, 1,079 delegates are out there. Donald Trump has to get 53% or so of those. He probably has a very good shot at doing that and makes a moot point of it. Donald Trump himself has said the champ sometimes has to take it out with a knockout to make it convincing, to dare put temptation into other people's hands. And the same would apply to your candidate here. But I think all bets are off. If for your candidate, for Donald Trump, for anyone, they change those rules ahead of the fact and suddenly say, not 1237, or your delegates don't count, or whatever.
That's right. But, something like that, then that's chicanery. But if we're saying, as our party is supposed to say, rules count, we're following the rules, we're not changing the rules to give it to anybody at the end, that's where we'd really get into trouble. But to say you got to have 1237, so let's get after it. If under no circumstances can you get to 1237, then we're not sure we want you to be the candidate. So let's keep going until we get to 1237. That's why there was 9 ballots of an election for Speaker of the House back in the 1920s. That's right. The rules were the rules, and if you don't get the majority, we're just going to keep having ballots till somebody does. And eventually they worked it out. That wouldn't need to happen. That's what should happen here without changing the rules.
Yeah, as long as it's an open, honest convention where everyone sticks to those rules and doesn't play fast and loose. with those.
Where Ted Cruz was exactly right. If he comes in and begs forgiveness when he did nothing wrong, that could create problems for him as well.
Congressman, thank you very, very, very much.
Oh,